Right, morning guys. We're going to talk about Liverpool today. The team that ended the weekend top of the table, top of the tree, and a team who was getting very underwhelming predictions, let's just say that, at the start of the season. Not by me, but by a lot of people, and I did not understand it. And again, go back on my old videos. I said Liverpool will comfortably finish in the top three. I said third. I still think first and second might be a step too far for him this year. But the thing with Liverpool is, right, you can never write this Liverpool off. Even last season, I mean, even though I did think second or third for Liverpool in the end, you can't write them off because a lot of that team are still playing. The team that won the Champions League 5 years ago and the league 4 years ago, the core is still there. Well, not the whole core, but you've still got Alisson, Trent, Robertson, Van Dijk, Salah, still at the football club, and they've mixed that with some great signings over the years with McAllister, Jota, Diaz, and obviously the centre back issue is probably Liverpool's only real standout issue, if there is an issue, who partners Van Dijk. But apart from that, they've got a very, very good team. Even though the Van Dijks and the Salahs are not as good as they were 5 years ago, but they're still very good players, and they've got enough in them to drag the others through. But it's the others who need to up their game. I felt last season, Luis Diaz, I felt he could have done more, if I'm honest, because Salah was carrying Liverpool for a lot of last season. But Salah and all great players, they always have a dip. They're going to have a little dip. And when they have that dip, they need the other players to step up. Because Salah can't do it all on his own. And I just felt Diaz at times could have done more last season. The reason why I say that is because he's done so well this season. And you just think there were certain games last season. Could he have showed this form last year? I don't know. But nevertheless, Arne Slot's come in, taken over from Jurgen Klopp's team, and has barely changed it. And to be honest, he barely needed to. I felt he needed a defensive midfielder. I still think he needs a defensive midfielder because even though Gravenberch has been fantastic, if Gravenberch was to get injured or if he was to have a dip in form, who else comes in as a defensive midfielder? That is a potential problem for Liverpool. But he has been fantastic this season. And Liverpool got this beautiful balance with Gravenberch, McAllister, and the front four always seem to change. It might be Szoboszlai sometimes in the 10, or it might be Cody Gakpo. And then on the wings, they've got Diaz, Jota, Salah. Sometimes Darwin Núñez comes in. It's a very, very good team. Very good team. Konate, like I said, is one of the guys who maybe needs to up his game up a little bit. Quansah's always there. He's always an option there. But no, I think when you look at Liverpool, you just, everyone is expecting them to just fall off completely. They had that season where they finished fifth. They had the season 4 years ago after the title where they were underwhelming, but they managed to claw third. Everyone's expecting a drop-off. But you can't expect that when you've got the players that Liverpool have, and the players that Liverpool have who have won what they've won. Never write them off, even with a change in manager. And I think Jurgen Klopp has obviously left Liverpool in a better state than people thought. It'd be nice to see Harvey Elliott get a bit of football. I don't think he's been used enough. I think he's got a lot to offer. But apart from that, Liverpool look really good. So it's gone from people not even putting Liverpool in their top 5 or top 4, to then suddenly people saying Liverpool are going to win the title. Football changes all the time. It's just people are so fickle when it comes to predictions. I think Liverpool will get third this season. I do think they're in the title race. I think we'll see something similar to last season where you've got Liverpool, City and Arsenal both going at it by March time. But I think Liverpool will just fade away, not because they're a bad team, but just because Arsenal and City have just got such high levels that they've hit. And yeah, I think it would just be too much for Liverpool. But again, would it surprise me if Liverpool went all the way with, Salah possibly on his last season, Van Dijk? It could be the last dance, basically, for Liverpool, and they might just go at it one more time. It wouldn't surprise me because they've done it before. But if we're talking about what I think they'll just fall short. But they're a fantastic team, and it's definitely like secure that they're going to go in the top three. They're much better than the other teams. The only team they've dropped points to this season was Nottingham Forest. What they'll be disappointed with that is it's not that they didn't win it, it's that they lost it, because those points, even if it's just 1 point, they can go so far at the end of the season. And I think Arne Slot's got to make sure that doesn't become a regular occurrence. You don't want to be a team that wins a lot but loses a lot. You want to obviously win a fair amount, but those losses you want to turn into draws. You don't want many draws, but you want just, if you're going to drop points, you'd rather it was a draw than a loss, because those points can be crucial at the end of the season. But listen, players like Diaz, players like Gravenberch, McAllister, they've just... By the way, McAllister, fantastic player. I've always thought it. Wonderful. Doesn't get the credit he deserves sometimes. It's just looking very good for Liverpool, I have to say. Trent Alexander-Arnold, I have to say, every year just seems to shut everyone up. If you don't rate him, I've said this loads of times, if you don't rate Trent Alexander-Arnold, then you don't know football. You just don't. He is just absolutely outstanding with the ball at his feet. And that equates, for any defensive frailties he might show, the amount of ability he has on the ball makes up for it, because his passing can just split defenses apart, really. Great season for Liverpool. I think they're doing really well so far. Arne Slot seems to have really stamped his mark. They seem to have more controlling games now. Under Klopp, it was more just, it was a bit like going at 100 miles an hour all the time. Not all the time, but most of the time. But now it seems that Arne Slot's got a bit of control. They like to just keep the ball for a bit longer. It's not so erratic. They've scored a couple of Jurgen Klopp goals this season on the counter-attack, which is nice because it shows there's a bit of versatility to their game. But yeah, rode their luck at times against Palace. Alisson went off injured. We don't know how serious that is. But overall, you'd have to be, if you're a Liverpool fan, you'd have to be happy with their start. And long may it continue for them, because it's they've only won one title in 9 years, and people really, diss them for that, basically. But they don't realise how powerful Man City are. It's not easy to win a league title when you've got Man City and Pep around. So I think for people that say they've only won one league title in 9 years, it's a bit unfair. Because this is the best Arsenal team I've seen since the Invincibles, and we've won nothing. And it's because of Man City and how good they are. But Liverpool will want to continue their form. They've got Arsenal in 3 weeks' time, well, nearly 2 weeks' time. That's going to be a big test for Liverpool, because they've already gone to United and dismantled them. They've lost to Arsenal on 2 occasions in the league consecutively, so they'll want to put that right. If they can get a good result against us, well, I say us, obviously, it's well documented that I'm an Arsenal fan, then that could really turn a lot of people's heads, and it could put Liverpool in the driving seat in terms of favourites, whatever you want to call it. Getting a result at Arsenal could be a big one. They need to perform in that game. If they can do that, then I think anything's possible for Liverpool. But I still think 3rd place, and it'll be comfortable, but they'll give Arsenal and City a run for their money.